In this video tutorial, we're going to come down here to the administration block and talk a little bit about course settings. So as the teacher, you have many options about the way you want your course to be set up, and it's one of the first things you'll want to do once you start working in your course. And the option here, we're going to click on Edit Settings. Here we have the full course name as it is now. I just called this course Moodle 2.5 because I'm going to put resources that pertain to this current version of Moodle. Every course has to have a unique short name. Like if you think about our course for teaching and learning online, our short name here is Home 1. The only thing about that is no two courses can have the same short name. So it can be anything in here, but it has to be unique. And I always try to fit the word home in here somehow because as you see up at top, when the students have gone to several things and they're kind of several layers deep in Moodle, if they always click on their home short key, they're always going to get back to the main page of their Moodle. So I like to set that in there as a cue to students. So that's up to you. You can choose any short name that you like. My course currently is going to be in this professional development category, and I'm going to leave that there. You get to decide what date does this course start on. Basically, when you create the course, that's the start date that gets plugged in. But if you wanted to, you can set that out earlier so it would not be available to people on your Moodle page until that date. You can add a description for your course. So this one is English Language Arts for 10th graders. So that's what you can do for the course description. It can be anything you want just to help people understand what type of course it is and who maybe would be appropriate to be in that course. Anytime you see here where you have these HTML buttons, you can see you would be able to add a picture if you wanted to, and you could even hyperlink text here. So if you wanted to send somebody out to a internet link, that's totally possible also. Throughout Moodle, they allow you to pull in files if you had a file that went along with that. For this, we will not. And under here, what they're doing now is keeping all the different course settings kind of in their own little compartments. And we're going to just go down through course format first. You can choose either to have a topic format or a weekly format. To be honest with you, you're only really going to ever choose topic format or weekly format. SCORM is if you had a package that was created in another system and you wanted to import it. So I like to usually use the topic view because that allows me to kind of chunk my material in modules, weeks, based on a theme. So I feel like you have a lot of flexibility there. Some people like the weekly format, and my only caution to you about that would be when you say that you're doing weekly and there's going to be 10 sections, those sections start from July 9th. So it goes exactly by the calendar dates. So I find sometimes that could be difficult maybe for some people just because it might not give you the flexibility if you needed to change the dates of when things were due or when you expected students to work on certain areas of the course. So that's my only caution. You don't get to punch in what the weeks are that your course is structured around. It goes by the calendar based on that start. You sometimes can hide sections so people on the front page don't see them. And you can say hidden sections are shown in collapsed form, or they might be completely invisible, where you wouldn't even see that there's a placeholder. Typically, I will let that stay in collapsed form, just so people see that there's something there, but they understand that they just can't see it yet. And the course layout, show all sections on one page or one section per page. And that's kind of up to you how you would like the course layout to go. Typically, the default usually is to show all sections on one page. And on to the appearance. This is where you can assign a theme to your course, which would just kind of be a background template, and it might have certain colors and fonts already pre-programmed into it. And with Moodle, you just have to pick one and say save changes to see what it looks like. So it's kind of a little bit of a trial and error there, but that's how you can apply a theme to check and see if you like it. And if you wanted to make a change, you just have to go back to your administration block and edit your settings. So that's something you're going to want to take some time to look at several of the different themes and choose which one that you would like. The one that says My Mobile, you'll notice that it has a very different look and feel to it. It's meant for students who will be accessing the course on a mobile device normally. So that may work for some people, but that's not one you might pick all the time unless you thought students were always going to be accessing your content on a mobile device. It's supposed to make it easier for that type of course setup. And so here on appearance for now, I'm just going to say do not force, and I'm going to set myself back to where I was a moment ago. And we'll continue. So appearance, that's the important thing, mostly here the theme. And also the language. There's a lot of different language packages that can be opened up in Moodle, so that's an option there too if you wanted something else besides English. Just note that it is the European, the English, or like the UK version of English, so you might notice sometimes that words are spoken incorrectly. Like if you see the word enroll throughout the course, they only spell it with one L. So if you see things like that, that is why the current language package installed on your course is the UK version of English, which is just slightly different. So that is that. So you have a news forum. That was that first thing, the only thing that was built into your Moodle course when it was blank, and you get to decide how many news items you'd want to show. 5 is good for me right now. Show the grade book to the students. I say yes to that. That way, anything that you're grading in Moodle, it just gives the students here on the left side of the page the option to look at a gradebook feature. And it's a really nice one. So nice, and it's easy to use. And show activity reports. I like to use those also because the students have the option. That is also in the administration block where they have different reports available to them. I like that students can be monitoring their progress in addition to the teachers. So I think those are good things. Files and upload. What's the largest size of a file that a student can upload? Largest file possible would be 1 gig. You can make that lower. I typically would just leave it at the maximum amount. So students need to understand is if they are creating a really awesome movie or presentation for you and they're trying to submit it through Moodle, it has to be less than 1 gig. And there's the option to allow guest access. That just means somebody could come into your course and have view-only access to the material inside. I would set that to no. Moodle has the option for you to have groups of students working in one course. And here, we're going to say no groups. Throughout the course, I will be telling you a little bit more about groups, and you might want to have certain activities be where students are grouped together or separately. But if you choose that here at the course setting level, it means every single activity has to be a group activity. So I say no groups at this whole course level, and then that way you can pick and choose if a forum activity or an assignment is appropriate for groups. You can turn it on just for that one activity. Forcing group mode, no. Default grouping, we're going to leave that to none. Role renaming is something where you can, these are the basic roles in Moodle, so instead of calling someone a guest, you could call them a viewer or something like that. You're really not going to use that too often, so we're going to leave that alone. And I will save my changes, and I'll be taken back to my front page of my Moodle course. So that is the all I needed to share with you about configuring your course settings. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy.